What is up, Uncommon? I am TJ. This is Uncommon, and so are you. All right, I'm going to do my best to look at the camera today and not myself in the lower part of this screen. This is a telltale of people on Zoom or on live who are constantly looking at themselves because that's what they're interacting with most of the time. So, welcome to the session. It is 2 o'clock on Thursday, so it must be the Uncommon live session. So, welcome to the broadcast. Today, we're talking about a whole lot of nothing. So, kind of like sounds like a Seinfeld episode waiting to happen. So, before we jump into that, I want to welcome those who are new to the session. Each week we do a husband, dad, or leader topic. And then on the rare occasions or the unfrequent occasions, we do a miscellaneous topic like today. So be sure to tune in 2 o'clock on Thursdays. That's our hour. That's our station. 2 o'clock Tuesdays, Eastern Standard Time. Obviously, you can watch this rebroadcast at your leisure. Be sure to frequent often. We're trying to build our YouTube channel. Go ahead and become a subscriber and for the notification bell. That way we can continue to grow our watch time on the channel. All right, let's see. So this week we're focusing on a couple of different things. I wanted to give you a little information around some topics. One of them is our next devotion. Our next devotion is called Confronting Sin. It is dropping September 1st, which is next Tuesday on YouVersion. And I was kind of surprised that we had no problems getting this on to YouVersion, only because it's a little bit more hard hitting than probably our normal kind of devotions are, because it's talking about sin. It's talking about the story of Nathan approaching David about his sin. You are that man, David. You are that man, TJ. You need to confront sin, and this is a great devotion to do so. And so I encourage you to be on the lookout for that coming out September 1st on YouVersion. Let's see. Also, our membership. Our membership is a great way to support this ministry. It's $25 a month. I'll leave a link in the comment section for you. It is a great way to support and give back to this ministry, but also get something from this ministry. So that link will take you to the page that outlines all the benefits of our membership package. And so on top of our devotion dropping on September 1st, we drop a new Uncommon original for our members only every other month. Hopefully in 2021, we may move to an every month deliverable. But right now, it is every other month. And the next one coming up is September 1st, and it is around communication. So be on the lookout for that. If you are a member, it is free for you as always. And so all you got to do is log into your account, visit our studies, and download what you want free of charge. And in case you're a new member, and we get a lot of those, be sure to check those out, because I think we're up to like 7 or 8 now, I think, of Uncommon originals that are there to be had and read through. So enjoy that. Now, September 17th at 7:30 p.m., let's see, it's going to be Central Time. Lou Everling and myself are going to be hosting a Uncommon Dads Conference at his church virtually. So they're going to pipe me in virtually to be awkward on camera in front of a bunch of guys over there. I like to be awkward in front of as many people as possible. And so it's just their turn. So September 17th, we'll be posting this on social media as it gets closer, but mark your calendars. September 17th at 7:30, the Uncommon Dad Conference. It's one of the first ones we've ever done with that kind of labeling. So look for this to be a kind of a kickoff to doing more things like that. And Lou even has some special announcements happening for that event. So there you go. Our membership, our Devo, our new Uncommon Original, and a conference. Holy cow, I'm only 5 minutes into it. I'm already tired. Just kidding. It is time to move into our topic. All right. A whole lot of nothing. We're talking about nothing to hide, nothing to prove, and nothing to fear. So each week I send out a text or an email to a group of guys, and they give me some feedback off that question. And so the question this week, of these three things, do you tend to hide things? Do you like to prove things? Or do you spend your time fearing things? It was interesting to see these because I use this as a barometer of what a lot of guys are going through. And so 20% of the guys said they hide things. Some probably hide maybe like some finances. Some hide like maybe relationships. Some hide viewpoints of things. I didn't ask for details, but 20% chose they hide things. 80% chose they want to prove things. Now, I know this question is a little bit out of context. It's just meant to be on surface level, kind of like, would you rather have be invisible, super strength, or able to fly? That type of thing. Surface level, quick hitting answers. But 80% said they want to prove things. And this was very revealing. 0% said they fear things. Very interesting. Very interesting. So let's look into these numbers a little bit more. Now, I was doing some research and I could not find a statistic on it couldn't be on hiding things, but it had to be like maybe around shame or guilt. I could not find a statistic on what is the average statistic on like shame. So I'm going to assume that everyone struggles with maybe hiding things from other people. And it could be sometimes innocent things. It could be sometimes very bad choices you're hiding. But like sometimes you might just be protecting someone's feelings by hiding that maybe information or those thoughts or feelings. On social media, do we hide things to put on a show for others? Because on social media, holy cow, some people are just living their best life now. I mean, they're like broadcasting from their fifth vacation of the week to some remote exotic island that no one has heard of. And you're like, how in the world can they afford to do all that? They may be hiding some things like a tremendous amount of debt, or that's their coping mechanism, or they've just been blessed to be able to do that. So I wanted to give you some information around these topics to kind of help frame that, and then also some scripture to help put it in perspective. Genesis 3:8. And they heard the sound of the Lord walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And the man and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord among the trees of the garden. the ultimate game of hide and seek with God, right? I don't exactly know what Adam thought he was doing, or Adam and Eve what they were doing, trying to hide from God in the garden that he created. That's kind of crazy. But Luke 12:2, nothing is covered up that will not be revealed, or hidden that will not be known. So you can see that not only do we struggle with maybe hiding things out of maybe guilt or shame, we don't have to hide that. We don't have to hide from God. Our number 2, prove. Oh man, everybody loves to be right. We just love to be right. And so the question was, do I like to prove things? And sometimes you prove things correctly, like prove, like apologetics is about proving that God's word can be trusted and prove itself to a degree. So the stat I found here was, and it's around a little bit of kind of debating, right? You want to prove things. It's not always, like trying to help someone figure out what the math problem is. Many times it's, I want to prove to you that I'm right. And so what that does, other person try to prove their point of view, you're proving your point of view, and all of a sudden you're having some intense fellowship, as we say. But the stat that I found, very sobering, says on average, families spend 49 minutes a day arguing with each other. That's almost an hour a day that we spend arguing with our families. Now, consider you and I are probably sleeping, just say 8 hours a day, maybe not that much, maybe even longer. And say we are like driving in traffic a little bit of that day, and not around other people. So we're not like talking about 24 hours in the day. So the remaining hours that we're around them and awake, right? 1 hour of that time we're spending arguing with each other. So reasoning, do we want to prove that, it's good that we want to prove things that confirms and lines up with God's word? That's great. Or are we trying to prove things because we just want to be right? And instead of always wanting to be right, we probably should always want to be holy. Because sometimes we're just wrong. We have a wrong point of view. We're thinking incorrectly. We need some accountability, kind of like Nathan and David. David needed to be called out by Nathan. He was thinking incorrectly and doing incorrectly. Galatians 1:10. For am I now seeking the approval of man or of God? Or am I trying to please man? If I were still trying to please man, I would not be a servant of Christ. And so when we're trying to prove something to someone, are we doing it so that we're trying to reveal truth and grace around God's word? Or maybe some encouragement and support with another person? Or are we doing it because we just want to feel like we're correct, we're right? I feel better when I'm right, and that person is wrong. Bam, I win. TJ 500, the world 0. So we need to reorganize our thoughts when it comes to, I want to prove things. Let's examine why we want to do that. Our last one. Do I fear things? Now, I thought it was interesting that no one said they feared things. Well, I am man, hear me roar. I beat my chest. I'm a tough guy. What am I fearing, right? The stat around anxiety, fear, or stress. Anxiety disorders are the most common mental illness in the United States, affecting 40 million adults of the age 18 or older. And I would wager that every person on this planet fears something. I don't care if you have a tattoo that says fear not. I don't care if you will swear up and down about not fearing something. Everybody fears something, and you should be fearful of God if you don't know him. But fear is actually could be a good thing. Fear keeps us out of traffic. It keeps us from wandering around, walking out into the middle of an interstate. Bad fear may be an issue of trusting God. As we are bombarded with information from social media, or let's call it so-called news, and that's every one of these news outlets, it is always around fear. That's what gets the headlines. You rarely see good news, right? If you do, boy, it's buried deep on the website list, because the big type is always about the shock and awe. So we're kind of like, built around taking in bad news. Isaiah 41:10. Fear sells. You're right, Benjamin. Fear sells. You're right. Isaiah 41:10. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Now, there are many, many, many verses around fear not. We even have a devotion written on fear not. There are countless blog articles and websites that have content around fear not. So it's interesting to see how much disorder and struggle we have with anxiety and stress and worry. All those are just other words of fear. If you're constantly worried about something, there's a trust factor there. There's a trust issue you have with God, especially when we know that 90% of the things we worry about never come to pass. Now, I get it. We're just wired this way. We're wired to overthink things. But the truth is, we have nothing to hide, nothing to prove, or nothing to fear when it comes to God. He loves us all the same. God gave us all these feelings, and we experience, and he knew that some of them we would struggle with, right? And I believe that creates opportunities for us to fellowship with him for reliance and direction. So while you may have all of these, you may hide things, you may try to prove things out of some insecurity, or you might fear things. Turn those things toward God. Have a conversation with him about those things. Make sure they are focused through the lens of Christ, and turn these things to unhiding things, or bringing things to light to overcome a sin, changing how you communicate to people, speaking with truth and grace instead of trying to prove you're right in every conversation. In fear things, fear, right? You want to make sure that you're fearing the right things, like a holy God that does not tolerate sin. So if we're going to approach these things, let's approach them correctly. So we have some resources for you. I've already put these in the description of this video, but I'll go through them. In our article section, we have Don't Play the Shame Game. We have The Power and Destruction of Angry Words. It's funny how when you try to prove you're right, when you're wrong, you get louder. Next thing you know, you're screaming your beliefs to people or your viewpoint. The next one is The Place of Safety. That's an article. We have tons of articles on our blog. I think as of right now, about 350 articles we have on our blog. You can search that in any of these topics. Our devotions, we have one that just finished in August, 180 Degrees. That's around hiding. As you know, people hearing God, turning and running away from that, only to have some intense fellowship to be brought back to God. Ask Jonah how that worked out for him. He got a free boat ride in the side of a belly of a big fish. In the proof category, we have code purple. It's about communicating. That one is about communicating with your husband and wife. Blue, pink, code purple when they communicate. In the fear category, we have an obvious one called fear not. So we have, I think, over 46 devotions now on YouVersion. And so if any of these you've already taken, be sure to check out. If you go to YouVersion and just search Uncommon, you'll see all the different devotions we have on tap for you, including the one coming out next, I think it's next Tuesday is the first. And then videos, because we've been pouring into our YouTube channel, we're now able to use that as a resource for you guys. And so one of them we have is Decorations, the Hiding of the Bad Spot. Another one is The Mouth Says What the Heart Feels. And the last one is Reacting to the Replay. Some of these are kind of brand new. I think we just did Reacting to the Replay within the last couple of weeks. And The Mouth Says What the Heart Feels was about a month ago. Let's see. Benjamin says, in prayer over anxiety and fear last week, it ended after the question, what could a God give to eliminate or lessen the fear? What could God give to eliminate or lessen the fear? The only answer was more awareness of his presence in daily life. You're right, Benjamin. We go through these things as if we are on an island, kind of like, surely God sees me going through this. Why is he letting that go on? Maybe we are not where we need to be with God, right? We have drifted away. We may not be listening, or we're rubbing that genie lamp trying to get the answer we're looking for, right? Lord, should I take that job? Should I do this? He may give you an answer. He may work out situations that give you that answer, but it's not the answer you want. And so you keep praying as if God did not respond. Yeah, not supposed to say a God, yeah, capital G, right? Exactly. Right on. We got Josh Paterna in here. It's great to see you guys in here. I know I'm catching people in the middle of the day, or at least in your afternoons. Hopefully, this is a good time for some of you. And we're trying to make this content more relevant, more challenging, encouraging. And so I hope this, guys, is resonating with you. And so thanks for joining in. I appreciate that. And so as we kind of continue to build content, let us know if there is a topic that you want us to write on, or you want us to do an Uncommon live on. Let us know. I mean, if you, let's see, Benjamin, Joshua, is there a topic that we have not covered that you think will be a great topic for us to work on in the coming weeks and months? Let's see. Benjamin said, I work at night, so this is late morning. Oh boy, sorry, man. Catching you at end of your day. Your bedtime is coming up. Sorry about that. Night shifts. Whew. Night shifts are rough. I've never had to work night shifts. Back in college, I used to always get stuck on restocking. And of course, that went past midnight. And of course, I had classes the next morning, but I was much younger and hairier back then. So I must have been able to handle that. Nowadays, it's kind of like it's 9 o'clock and I'm on the sofa like, oh, I'm so old. Let's see. Benjamin said he's new to the channel, but finding joy in the Lord, not the blessing, is what I'm working on. Right on. That's good. That's good, man. Because those blessings sometimes are, they're not like, man, he didn't promise us, like a rose garden, but he promised he'd be there with us. And so there are situations that you and I are going to go through. So with Katrina in our background, in light of like what Hurricane Laura is going through in my home state right now, it's bringing back memories of those Katrina days and months and years. My family and I evacuated that during that time, and spent about 2 years kind of in flux. We spent about 18 months in Arizona, and then a couple of months back in New Orleans with some family, and then finally moved here. We're looking to maybe get out of Hurricane Alley. So, 40 years dealing with hurricanes. I think we had a little bit, over the hurricane seasons, but it was a time when it drew us closer together as a family, as well as to our faith. And it just galvanized us, man. It just galvanized us going through that. So, it's not about the blessings, it's about the fellowship with God. Lewis says, hi. Hey, man, how you doing? Let me know where you're from, too. Benjamin, let me know where you're from. Lewis, Joshua, let me know where you're from here in the comment sections. Let's see. Joshua, I think I may have had season changes through this. We copy with all of our changes as husbands and fathers. Yeah, that'd be a great topic. We do have a devotion called Man for All Seasons on YouVersion, but I think we could write something in, by the way, Joshua Turner, rock star, he has written for us in the past and currently has provided content for Uncommon. So Joshua is part of this ministry in an intimate way. And so, Joshua, if I have not said thank you yet, again, thank you for your contribution, brother. Let's see. Benjamin from Northeast Florida. Watch out, man. So you're well aware of hurricane season as well, just like Joshua Turner, Metro Atlanta. Man, all my Southeast boys in the house today. It was funny when we first moved here to Charlotte. They refer to Virginia and even North Carolina as South, and we kind of giggle. I'm like, South? You have the word North in your state, North Carolina. How could you? I understand Mason-Dixon line and everything, but South, New Orleans, right? It's not New Orleans, it's New Orleans. You gotta bend that word a little bit. Born and raised, that's South. Deep Florida, South, right? Atlanta, South. You got to be able to drive like maybe 20 minutes and see the Gulf to be South. From here, it's about an 11-hour drive. If you're a friend of mine that speeds, that's like about a 6-hour drive to New Orleans. But we've always thought it was funny that how far north it goes, they still refer to themselves as South. So interesting. Well, that's all I had for this week. Be sure to let me know either here or by email in case you ever do have any questions or feedback. Reach me at tj@uncommon.org. Benjamin, you said you're new to the section here. Be sure to sign up for our newsletter. We send out our email every Saturday at 9 with our latest blog entry. In case you're looking to get a little deeper into this experience, our membership is a great way to do that. There's things that members get that non-members do not. And you can look at that link in the comment section at your leisure to take a look at that. Follow us on social, obviously. We're very active there. And so we just try to make a well-rounded experience of this ministry and always trying to grow it. So be on the lookout for new things coming up. So Benjamin, Joshua, thank you for joining in. I see my lovely wife always joins in here as well. Dana, thank you for sometimes being my only audience member. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. If you ever need anything, please reach out. And as we always say, since you're going to be something, be uncommon.